I also saw as well on Twitter that you kind of had a bit of a falling out with Nick Fuentes.
Meet Eric Orval. He is the founder of RTTL, which is Return to the Land. Basically, this is a group of whites who could be considered white supremacists, and they are building their own land in Arkansas, Missouri, and I believe in parts of Idaho, kind of away from major cities. And these particular communities will not have any non-white. So if you're black, stay back. If you're non-white, it ain't right. And this is pretty much how it is. And he's been getting a lot of traction. A lot of people have been supporting and funding the movement. And he's also been able to collaborate with other white supremacists such as Nick Fuentes. And at first, it seemed that their relationship was a doozy. Seemed like everything was going okay.
Woo!
The relationship between Orval and Nick Fuentes was so lovely, he even used to make posts out to him. Orval says, many people have asked how RTTL decides if an applicant is white. It's simple. We set their picture side by side, the picture of Nick Fuentes. And if they look white or whiter than him, they're in. Wow. That is great. But recently, there is trouble in paradise. Orval and Fuentes have fallen out. And this is interesting because Nick Fuentes is going mainstream with a lot of his content. And as you know, he has largely been ostracized or blackballed from most social media platforms. But Nick Fuentes is covering a lot of ground. And since the death of Charlie Kirk, he's become even larger than life. But Eric Orval has come out to expose Nick Fuentes for this.
So apparently I am now dead to Nick Fuentes. He says he will never help me again, and he says that no one else should help me either. This is because I privately DM'd him, asking for clarification on his stance on birthright citizenship. A clip was going around where he seemed to endorse birthright citizenship.
So there is Eric Orval asking Nick Fuentes about something that he said before. So he's asking, listen, Nick, I heard that you're saying something on social media about, non-whites and their ability to get citizenship in America. Now, I believe, in my honest opinion, that Eric Orval does not believe that non-white people should be citizens of the United States. And this is lock in step with many white supremacists, especially the ones that are Protestant. And we will get to that in a minute. He sent Nick Fuentes this clip of him repeating this.
And by the way, I don't care what color you are. I know maybe that's going to be controversial on my side. But seriously, if you have citizenship, if you were born in this country, this is your birthright. This is our lives. This is our rights. This is our heritage. It's our tax dollars. It's our government. It's our military. This is our country. This is our empire.
So Nick Fuentes, if you heard in that clip, is saying, listen, I don't care what race you are. If you were born in America, you deserve citizenship in this country.
Damn, damn, damn.
And this is the issue that Eric has with Nick. Because listen, you can't be a white supremacist and say that if you're any other non-white person, that you can have citizenship in this country. And the reason why Nick Fuentes differs from the other white supremacists with this narrative is because Nick Fuentes is a Roman Catholic. Now, again, people look at the Catholic Church and say, well, the Catholic Church is a European and they're white, so you can be, European and Catholic and still be racist like Nick Fuentes, right? Now, of course, there have been groups that are considered racist, like certain white Cubans or Italians and things like that. But those are individual choices. The Catholic Church is pretty much different than most Protestant religions. And we have to understand that America was founded by Protestants. And what is the real problem with being a Roman Catholic?
From the fact that Nick Fuentes is part of a religion that is all-encompassing, umbrella religion, and a very welcoming and open religion. Catholicism is basically the branch of Christianity that has been designed to win over all, to be welcoming to all. And that is why you have the Pope constantly, making outreach in various nations with various races. It's because this belief of a common human community that everyone is equal, and not equal on all measures, but that ultimately everyone is a child of God.
Now, this explanation is very good because Roman Catholics, by default, are the largest Christian sect in the world. And how do they achieve this? By encompassing everybody, okay? Especially in Africa. I'm in Uganda. It's plenty of Catholics here. It's a lot, you have a lot of Catholics, even in the state of Louisiana, a lot of black Catholics. And the Pope, goes all around the world, and wherever he goes, there are going to be people, especially non-white people that are Catholics. And that is why Catholicism is such a big deal, because, it's just open to everyone, just similar to Islam, right? But now if you're Protestant and you're racist, then you can't be open to everybody. You can't be inclusive. The religion must preach that only whites are the truth, or only whites deserve to be in the country. Catholicism cannot say that. So Nick Fuentes, when he's saying, listen, I don't care what race you are, if you're born in this country, you deserve to stay. And that's right lock in step with what Catholicism preaches. And Nick Fuentes is an ardent Catholic. So this has to be the case. Now, Nick Fuentes eventually would respond to Eric Orval, okay? And when he did, he said this.
So I asked him that question, and he responded with this.
Eric Orval is DMing me saying, are you against birthright citizenship in DMs? Really? How are you going to be pro-white? You're not even going to support me. How are you for all white people and, ecumenical pro-white politics? You're going to throw me under the bus? I'm not being attacked by enough people. I'm being attacked by literally everybody. I'm being attacked by Mark Levin. I even told Tucker to his face. I said, we have to be pro-white. I said those words. I said, we need to be pro-white. We need to talk about white people. I am pro-white. And the so-called white nationalist crew, rather than circling the wagons to defend me and what I thought, even after I was nice to Orval, even after I had him, or I went on his show, they're taking the piss. They're gonna ankle bite. They're gonna try to score a point. No, I'm not in favor of fucking. If I say you're a citizen, I'm talking about, obviously, we should not be afraid to say that we're citizens, we're Americans. It goes without saying that birthright citizenship is not legitimate. That should go without saying.
Now, this is a very bad response by Nick Fuentes because he's never addressing what Eric is saying, okay? He's saying that Eric is turning on him. Eric said that he messaged him in private. But the reality is that Nick got caught lying. At first, he's saying that he doesn't care who is born in this country, you deserve citizenship. And he even acknowledges the fact that, listen, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but he said it anyway. And now that, he's called out, he starts to assassinate, Eric Orval for no reason, because he is basically preaching against what he's talking about. And this is typically what you will find with many white supremacists. White supremacists do have a history of attacking each other, right? And this is something that we as blacks must understand. I mean, look at Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes. They did not like each other. Charlie Kirk hated Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes hated Charlie Kirk. And where do they differ on? They differed in Israel versus Palestine. That was the biggest thing, okay? Charlie Kirk supported Israel. Nick Fuentes does not. Where does Eric Orval and Nick Fuentes differ here? Well, birthright citizenship for non-white people. Nick Fuentes, as an ardent Catholic, must support that because he is a Catholic, despite the fact that he's a white supremacist. He cannot say that only white should have citizenship in America and then be a Catholic. When the Catholic Church is in Africa, when the Catholic Church is in Venezuela, it's in many non-white places, but the Catholic Church says that all God's children are the same. So by default, that's a lie. And what it shows me is this.
It is not whatever they decide to do with each other, let them have it. Because one thing I know, and we already see it, they're not going to deal with each other. So if we're around, they're going to target us. If we're not around, they target themselves. But if you understand European history, that's what it was. They always were fighting each other in Europe.
You see, the white supremacists are starting to get clout, okay? Especially the content creators. And this clout is something new for them. And instead of just staying on point and sticking to the issues, what you're going to find out is that these same white supremacists are going to start to fight each other, okay? And shout out to Phil Scott for pointing this out. They are going to start to fight each other. Not only are they going to start fighting each other, they're fighting each other right now. They're fighting each other for the spotlight. They're fighting each other for viewers, for subscribers. These guys don't even like each other, let alone anybody else. Nick Fuentes is only concerned, in my honest opinion, about views, clicks. He will say anything and basically just take it back. Why? Because Nick Fuentes is not really serious, okay? What we're gonna find out is a guy like Nick Fuentes, who's a Roman Catholic, won't have a strong appeal to white Protestants who don't wanna be inclusive, okay? White Protestants want to have their own religion where they are the chosen people, they are white, okay? Jesus Christ is white, and they need to believe that nobody else should be able to access their land. That's why this guy is moving to, like these communities in Missouri, Arkansas, all white communities, okay? And then even if you're born in America, you don't deserve citizenship. You should be somewhere else, preferably wherever your genetic disposition takes you there, right? So for somebody like me, who is Black American, I would have ancestry in West Africa. That is where I belong, despite the fact that I was born in America. This is what white supremacists teach. And now they're gonna fight each other, and it's going to get worse. And I agree with Phil. Black people need to do what? Stay out of it.
Woo!
So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, J. Jackson, back at it again with an episode of The Celebrity Drunk. I appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.